read 3 things this month, but is that my fault or is that Animal Crossing's fault? Realistically, could I have listened to an audiobook as I played Animal Crossing? Yes. Did I? No, I did not. So I only read 3 things this month, but I want to talk to you guys about them. First things first, hi guys, I want to be talking about a few of the books that I read this past month. I was going to do kind of a wrap-up since the beginning of the year, but when I was planning that video I realized that I've mostly just been rereading a lot of stuff, and that's not really interesting, so I wanted to do a very quick wrap-up of the books that I've read this month so far, because those are new, even though there's only 2 books and 1 graphic novel webtoon that I want to talk about, because I read it, it counts, and I really want to share my love for this webtoon, even though it is already pretty popular. Starting with the webtoon that I read, Lore Olympus. Started it last year, and I pretty much flew through the entire thing, or like however many episodes at the time were available, in a day. And I love it. Recently I've just been like rereading a lot of the older stuff, kind of like catching up to the new stuff. I love it so much. Well, I haven't even said what it was. Okay, so this is basically a webtoon following the Greek gods and goddesses with kind of like a more modern twist to it. This is in particular like Hades and Persephone's story, and like I said, I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites. I will say though, as much as I am obsessed with it, like right now I haven't read the new chapter because I'm trying to hold off. Usually what I do is that I'll hold off like 2-3 weeks, and then I'll kind of like marathon 3 episodes, and then I'll wait again like 2-3 weeks, and then I'll marathon another 3 episodes. But we're getting to the end of season 1 apparently. Oh, I'm so tempted to just like actually buy a fast pass for like just to like finish it off, but then I'm not gonna have anything for the next few months. Anyway, it's really great. Like I said, I love all the characters. I love the twists to the characters and kind of like the stories. They're very known myths obviously, but the way that she kind of twists them and turns them, and the characters are really great. The art, obviously fantastic. It's just one of my favorites, and I've just been marathoning a lot of it, so I wanted to kind of mention it because, you know, in case you guys are bored and need something else to like kind of like fly through, that's a good one. Oh, as I was saying though, my one gripe that I have with this, as much as I love it, is that it is like, is there a word that's like 100 levels over slow burn? I don't know what that word is, but I'm sure it would describe this. It is the slow burn of slow burns. Apparently in the entire like 100 and something episodes that are out so far right now, it's only been 14 yeah, well, like 14 days. It's been like around 2 weeks in the story, so I feel like so much has happened, but at the same time nothing has happened, and I want things to happen. I want things to kick off between these two, and it's just, oh god, it's really good. It's really good, and I love it. And like I said, I'm very excited about the end of season 1. I'm hoping that like shit will hit the fan, and like we'll get some conclusions that kind of like build up to the next one, you know? And then also I really want there to be an actual print version of this. Like I hope some publisher out there contacts Rachel and offers her a deal, because I need a physical copy of this damn webtoon in my life. It's just one of my favorites, and I just very quickly wanted to share it, even though I have been talking about it for like 5 minutes I think. So yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend it. Love it. Next I have The Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie. This is a book that I've seen around romance Twitter for a really long time, and so many, like so many of the romance authors that I follow recommend this. So I've had my sights on it for a while, and then I think the last time I saw this, Sarah McLean I think it was, that recommended it, and I was like, okay, alright, I'll take the hint. So I bought it. Basically this is a historical romance novel following this lady Beth, who is a widow, and she is looking to get remarried when the plan kind of goes awry because of Lord Ian McKenzie, who warns her that her new potential husband isn't really who he pretends to be. She ends up canceling her engagement and becomes embroiled with this lord who is known as a mad lord, obviously Madness of Lord Ian McKenzie, and there's kind of like a murder element to this. It was a little all over the place, I'm not gonna lie. At first I doubted this. I went into it and I felt very much that it was going to be more of a like a smut over substance kind of book, which honestly there's nothing wrong with that, but it wasn't particularly what I was in the mood for at the moment. Like I wanted some angst, I wanted, you know, tension, I wanted story, and this at first I almost dropped it, but like I said, because it has been so very heavily recommended, I kind of pushed through with it, and I'm really glad that I did, because it did kind of take off, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The relationship was really great. Also because like, well, I believe it's obviously not stated in text because of the time period, but I do believe that Ian is in the autism spectrum, which is kind of why he was seen as mad, and he was even like interned into an asylum because of it when he was younger. Their relationship built up, I think, at first like really strongly, which is why I felt like I was like, maybe this isn't for me, but it kind of makes sense within the story. And as you get to know his character, as you get to see him build his relationship, you get to see his relationship with his family, which I wish had been delved into a little bit more, but I think because this is a series that follows the McKenzies, we're gonna get more of that into the other books. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved their relationship, and it made me invested enough to like want to continue on with the series, to learn more about the rest of the family. I actually already borrowed the second book on HOWL'S, and I'm hoping to read it sometime this month. But yeah, like I said, I was wrong for doubting romance authors. They know what they're talking about. I did end up giving this like a 3.5 though, because I did really like it, but it's not like a new favorite or anything, but you know, it kept me invested and it made me want to keep reading the series, so I figured, you know, 3.54 stars. Around there. I think that's a good one for this. The last book that I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. This was my pick for book of the month. It was an early release. I was very excited about it. I even vlogged myself reading it, but the vlog turned out to be like, it looked like trash. It was not great, so I ended up scrapping it, but I did read this and I loved it so much. This follows a woman named January who finds her life kind of turned upside down. She's a writer whose life has kind of taken a turn, and she's just not in a great situation. She just ended her engagement, her father just died, and he left her with a bit of a shocking revelation that ends up putting her whole perspective of life and romance, ends up turning it on its head, and she kind of is very lost. So she ends up going to this lake house / beach house that her father left her. One, because she has nowhere to live, because like I said, she broke up with her fiance. Also because she's on deadline and she's hoping to sell the house because of the situation that happened with her father. So when she moves to this place, she realizes that her next door neighbor is her arch enemy / rival / crush from college, who also happens to be a writer, except he writes literary fiction where she writes romance. And through a series of events, they kind of decide to switch genres because he's struggling with writer's block, as well as a few other things that have kind of messed up his life. And she obviously is having a really difficult time writing romance after this revelation about her father, so they end up switching genres and they help each other out through the process, which basically just means like low-key going on dates as like research, and I loved it. Loved every second of it. It was so good. I think I expected this to be a little bit more romance heavy when I went into it. Don't get me wrong, there is romance, and it's my favorite kind of romance because they do go from like rivals to friends to lovers. I love that because you get to see the progression of their relationship, and then you get to see them kind of help each other out through some pretty heavy shit that they're both dealing with. It made me laugh, it made me cry. Their chemistry was amazing, their banter was really great, the sexual tension, oh my god, it was great. And then also, like I said, they were both dealing with very heavy stuff, and they have their own demons that they kind of have to work through. And what I loved about it was that they did come together to help each other out, but at the end of the day, they both had to deal with their own personal stuff as well. And it was beautiful. This is officially one of my favorites. I just really like it, and I'm very excited to read more of Emily Henry. It was just, yes, I loved it. I do want to do a little bit of a TBR. You guys know I'm not a fan of TBRs because I never stick to them, but these two are ones that I'm definitely going to read this month, so I figured it was safe to put them in a video and not, you know, be a liar. Like I said, I've been rereading a lot. You know, during these times, sometimes you need a little bit of comfort and a little bit of just like, I don't know. Anyway, I started rereading Howl's Moving Castle. That's my point. I started rereading it this morning. I've wanted to reread it for a while, and you guys know it's one of my favorites. I absolutely adore Howl's Moving Castle, so I thought that it was time to reread the book, so I started listening to the audiobook. Very quickly wanted to mention that in case you're wondering what I'm reading right now. And also, this isn't a reread, this is a new book that I picked up recently. It's a FLATSHARE by Beth. I've heard really great things about this, and I think this is going to be pretty similar to Beach Read, because I've heard that it is like a romance as well, but it does deal with a little bit of like more heavy subjects as well, which apparently is something that I'm now very much in the mood for after this. Like I said, I've heard really great things. I'm excited by the premise because it is about two people who live together, but they've never met each other, and somehow they end up falling in love. So these are for sure two books that I'm gonna read, as well as like finish off the season for, you know, Lower Olympus, because I'm so excited. I'm dreading it, but I was so excited. That's it, guys. That's all the stuff that I read in April. It's not very much, but like I said, my life has been taken over by Animal Crossing. No regrets. That has calmed me down greatly as well. It's great to like just take care of my island, because Lord knows I'm the only one who's doing it. No one else is doing shit in that island, okay? Anyway, so yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you soon with another video. I'm back. I'm officially back. I even changed my banner and everything, so I'm excited. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.